no.
Ocho Cinco, was he a quarterback?
Your ass better call somebody.
His team hasn't won a national championship since before he was even born.
Diggs gone for the touchdown. Caldwell Pope. How about that one, baby? Let's go. Come on.
Come back, Kelly.
I love college football.
Go Dogs.
Go Tigers.
Roll Tide, roll. Roll RMFT. Roll motherfucking Tide.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the College Football Weekly Matchup. Week 2. It's finally here, boys. We got one of the biggest games of the season, one of the games we're looking forward to the most. I know Bryson's over there shaking his head. We're looking forward to it the most. We had a good week of college football last week. What is Bryson doing here? I don't know what he's doing. We had a good week of college football last week. Very excited. Had some blowouts. Had some close games. Bryson, how was your week 1 of college football, and how much are you looking forward to this week?
Man, I couldn't ask for a better week 1. A lot of great games. I can't believe it's back. It's finally, reality is setting in. Great week 1. Can't wait for week 2. Can't wait for this weekend. We're all getting together to watch the big game. But just all in all, just a great, wonderful weekend.
Preston, how was your week of college football?
It was great. A little stressful. My game, the Clemson game, was the last one of the regular week 1. So it was a little stressful for the first 3 quarters of it. But I tell you, man, the first little taste of football I have, of real football, of college football, it's great. I love it. 11 more great weeks, and, very excited for what's coming forward.
Josh is here. He's got the records with us. He's got all the records, what we went last week, and he was, keeping up with that. But, Josh, first of all, how was your week of college football? And, once again, how much you looking forward to this upcoming week when you got a big game coming up?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. But like Paul Feinbaum said, to Alabama, it's just another road game. It's not like we're playing Texas A&M. But we haven't played Texas since 2010 in the national championship in January 2010. This weekend was good. I enjoyed all the football. Had a lot of people over, a lot of food. Really enjoyed watching that Florida-Utah game. That was pretty exciting. Florida State LSU game was pretty sloppy. I wasn't impressed at all. Georgia Tech kept shooting themselves in the foot. It could have been 49-20 something. But they kept shooting themselves in the foot, getting behind the chains against Clemson. But there is promise for Georgia Tech. Give them a couple of years, they may can compete in the ACC. Other than that, Alabama did what they were supposed to do against Utah State. Georgia did what I thought they would do against Oregon and just blow them out. Like Oregon, got killed by Utah twice last year. They got Bo Nix as their quarterback who couldn't cut it in the SEC. So he goes out there, and it's just I don't know why they were number 11, but the AP poll kicked them out of the top 25, which I thought was funny.
Gotcha. Look, you almost look like you're wearing a horn. I thought that was a horn at first on your shirt. It almost looked like a horn the way the shirt is. I thought you might have been wearing a Texas shirt at first, but
no. If it was no. It's the mullet on the Alabama A.
Gotcha. No, I see it.
Anyway, we all know the only team he would wear would be Tennessee. We all know that.
No, we all know that. Anyway, Josh has got the records for the week. I think we know who won, but go ahead and give it to us.
All right, let's start at the bottom first. We'll start with Preston, who went 3-4, who won the West Virginia game, lost the North Carolina game, won Arkansas, lost Oregon, lost Utah, and won Florida State, and lost Ohio State. So he went 3-4. Bryson went 5-2. His only 2 losses were LSU and Ohio State. Chris, you went 4-3. Your 3 losses were North Carolina, Utah, and Ohio State. And that was your lock of the week, Ohio State. I went 4-3. My loss was Pitt, who lost by 0.5. LSU and Ohio State.
Gotcha.
So, me and you are 4-3. Bryson's in the lead by 1 game.
So Bryson's in the lead. Did Bryson win his lock of the week? What'd you pick for your lock of the week, Bryson?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
App State. App State. Then you picked okay. Gotcha. So them 2 won their locks of the week. Me and you lost ours. Okay.
No, I won mine. Mine was Arkansas.
Oh, you had Arkansas. Okay. So everybody won their lock of the week but me. I thought Ohio State would do it. Ohio State, very disappointing. All right.
What's this Jacksonville Jaguars shirt you got on?
No, I think it's a baseball shirt. It's a college.
Oh, okay.
shirt.
Anyway. I didn't know if you had a bootleg Trevor Lawrence jersey on.
All right, so we're going to recap a few games. Bryson over here. I know one game I didn't put on here. I know Bryson wants to talk about Appalachian State putting up 40 points in the fourth quarter. Bryson, your thoughts on that game? Any thoughts on that game? Them coming back, winning 63-61.
Y'all laughed at me when I said it's going to be a top 10 game this year, and I damn it if it wasn't a top 10 game. Great game by both sides.
You also said they were going to win by 14, but go ahead.
Well, hey, sometimes I cover the spread. That's all that matters. Listen, horrible defense from both sides. Like I said earlier last week, North Carolina and Appalachian State both had great offenses. Great game by Drake May. 352 yards, 4 touchdowns. Chase Bryce for Appalachian State's quarterback, 361 yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception.
I hope so. They put up 60 points. I hope he throws.
Just what a great game, And I think this is going to foreshadow for next week or this week when they go to A&M. I'll touch more base on that, but yeah, just a great, wonderful game.
Gotcha.
I wish they could have pulled it out, with the last, the wide receiver dropping the pass at the end for the 2-point conversion. But, just a great game.
Josh, Preston, either one of you guys have something to say about that game? You're good. Josh,
Yeah, that game, yeah. When Appalachian State went for 2 and they missed their open receiver,
yeah,
I think they would have won that game. And then the onside kick that gets returned for a touchdown, and I'm like, what is on? They missed the 2-point conversion, then they do an onside kick. North Carolina picks it up, takes it for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
You're good. Preston, anything you want to say about the Appalachian State game? Did you catch that game?
Yeah, I watched it a little bit. I thought Appalachian State, they performed better than I thought they were going to. I don't really fault them for not being able to defensively stop North Carolina. North Carolina has superior athletes or should have superior athletes. So I'm not faulting Appalachian State for the high defensive or the low defensive efficiency on their part. More or less, I fault North Carolina. You're in the ACC, you're in a Power 5. Now, I know ACC is one of the lower ends of the Power 5, but still, you allow them to score that many points in the fourth quarter in a game that you really should have kind of, won by 15, 20 points. I would not be holding my head very high. I know it was week 2 for them, but Appalachian State, man, they look good for what they've got going on over there. So I was very impressed with them. But yeah, like I said, I don't fault Appalachian State for what happened.
Gotcha. All right, another game. Georgia jumps up a spot after they absolutely destroyed, what was Oregon, number 12?
11.
11, absolutely destroyed them. Josh, anything you want to say? I know you expected it.
Yeah, I expected it. Bo Nix is not any kind of quarterback to be playing at the college football. He freaking sucks. But Oregon coming in with a new coach really wasn't expecting them to do much. Georgia really hasn't skipped a beat. That freshman receiver.
Preston, if you're opening a candy bar, can you please stop?
I'm not opening a candy bar.
Whatever you're opening. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead, Josh.
That freshman defensive back that made that spectacular interception, man, that was the greatest interception I've ever seen. Got to the high point, got that ball, and with that being said, I'm gonna put Stetson Bennett as my player of the week. Just gonna go ahead and throw that out there. He only missed 6 passes, and he went for 368 yards and 2 touchdowns. And, I know Oregon is not really a defensive juggernaut, and they don't have the playmakers on that side of the ball, but still that was a good performance by Stetson Bennett.
Gotcha. Hey, 30 touchdowns, 3,000, or what did I say? 30 touchdowns, 3,000 yards, 5,000 yards. What was
Watch out now.
Watch out. He might be coming for it. Might be coming for that Heisman. Old mailman. Bryson, Preston, do y'all want to say anything about the game? I know it was a blowout.
Go ahead.
Oh, you are.
Yeah, I mean, I expected it. I think if I'm not mistaken, I said the score was gonna be like 49-10 or 52-10, something like that when we did like our first episode. I'm not surprised from this. I find it hilarious, like Josh said earlier. Oregon got kicked out in the top 25. They deserve it. Uh, Chris, you said earlier, Kenny McIntosh going to have a good game. He had 9 receptions, 117 yards. But I was going a little deeper in the stats. Georgia had no turnovers, but Georgia was 9 for 10 on third down conversion. That's just insane to me. I mean, if you're 9 for 10, you're just moving the ball constantly. I mean, I think your first 7 drives you scored on each drive. I mean, just a great game for Georgia.
I think it showed.
They scored the touchdowns on their first 7 drives of the game.
Yeah, I think it shows a lot from Georgia, but I also think it shows that Oregon's very overrated. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Preston, what do you want to say?
I just wanted to say that I've had a couple people reach out to me. I've been harsh on Georgia, and I will continue to be harsh on Georgia just because I don't like them. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to, say one thing or the other. But I'll tell you what, I have a lot of respect for Nick Saban in Alabama, and I think they're an exceptionally well team. Obviously, I think they're either the best or the second best team in the nation, and that you can't argue that. You just can't. But I tell you, I just don't see how Georgia's not number 1 in the AP rankings right now. I mean, and like I said, no disrespect to Alabama. I think those 2 teams are right now. You'd be hard not to say that those 2 teams aren't going to obviously meet up in the SEC championship game and in the national championship game, for sure, the playoffs. But, man, Georgia just laid a whooping on Oregon. Oregon flew across the country to kick a field goal. I mean, they had no chance in that game. And I was one of the people that picked Oregon. How much of that was me just wanting to see Georgia I figured Georgia was going to win. That's why I picked against them.
Yeah, well, I could kind of tell because when you were talking and explaining it to you said, "Oh, it's going to be a close game."
I didn't think
you said Georgia's going to win by 14-17, and
that's what I said. They were going to win the game. I never
wanted that to happen.
Well, I never had Georgia losing that game, ever in my mind. Did I ever think Georgia was going to even come close to losing that game? But I thought Oregon had some kind of advantage, not like an advantage against Georgia, but the fact that the defensive coordinator is the new head coach for Oregon, maybe that changed up their scheme somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe caught them slipping on the slump from the previous year, but that wasn't the case at all. Georgia is a dominant team. Stetson Bennett shut me up. Stetson Bennett, I said he was a liability, like I said all season last year. He proved me wrong last year. He proved me wrong in the playoffs when it mattered most, and he proved me wrong versus Oregon last week. Like I said, like Josh said, I picked him as my player of the week. I mean, the dude was 21 of 28 or whatever it was. I mean, 25 of 31 for 368 and 2 touchdowns, and that Georgia looked flawless on Saturday. And I believe it's gonna be hard pressed to say they're not gonna look like that for the weeks coming.
Gotcha. Bryson had another big game over there. 29-26. Florida pulls off the upset. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I was not really expecting us to win that game, to be honest. I really had us losing, but then at the last second, I switched. Florida winning the game. I think that's a great first win for Billy Napier getting his belt. To have now, I think he has Florida's fan base is back. So I'm going to say my player of the week was Anthony Richardson. He didn't have the greatest stats. He went 17 for 24, 168 yards. 11 carries, 106 yards, and 3 touchdowns. But the reason he's my player of the week, and I'm going to be a little biased here, he was calm, cool, collected the whole game. I mean, he looked like an NFL quarterback to me. I mean, he looked like a straight field general out there. The thing that did kill us –
That's an NCAA term, NCAA 14?
The thing that did kill us was we had 7 penalties. On defense, I mean, that's just going to kill us. Our defense, we got a young defense. I think it probably going to get better, as the season comes. Trevor Etienne is going to be a superstar. I mean, every time he touched the ball, it was supposed to play. I mean, and a great game for us. I think that's give us a little confidence going, face Kentucky this week. So I like it for us.
Gotcha. Josh, coming down to the end of the game, this is one of the games we watched. If I'm not mistaken, Utah definitely had a chance to win that game. Your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, that Utah quarterback, I can't think of his name right now.
Cameron
but
Rising.
Rising.
Yep.
He should not have thrown that ball, man.
Yep.
I agree.
But he did, and Florida made the best of it. It was a great ending to a game. It was great for those fans in Florida. You know, I would like to see Florida be on the up and up, since Urban Meyer's not their coach anymore, or Steve Spurrier. I did not like them coaches.
Not at all.
But anyway, yeah, I think Florida did good. I think that the AP gave them a little too much love, putting them up at 12. I would have put them around 17 or 18.
Yep.
If they beat Kentucky this week, they deserve that top 15 spot. If they do beat Kentucky, maybe they don't move up much, because they're already up there. And we got a lot of other games to see how some top 10 teams shape out this week, like Baylor going to BYU.
Yep.
So,
Gotcha.
but yeah, Florida looked good. Florida answered the call.
Gotcha. Preston over there, whatever the hell you just did. What's your thoughts on the Florida game? Any thoughts? Quickly, we'll get to the next game.
Florida, man, it appears that I don't want to say it jinx them like anything else, but it appears like they got something cooking down there in the swamp, and it might be a good season for them. And definitely, like Bryson said, great first win for Billy Napier. So, I mean, everything's pulling forward and up for the Gators. Very happy for them.
Gotcha. All right, next game. We had Arkansas covered 31-24. We don't need to talk about that too much. I don't think you guys, unless you guys want to. They ended up beating Cincinnati. Let's talk about the big game of the week. Had Ohio State come out and win 21-10 against Notre Dame. Low-scoring game, which I bet the over on. I was very disappointed. Josh, what was your thoughts on that game? We watched a lot of the Florida game. I ain't gonna lie to you. So we caught more of after halftime of that game. We were flipping back and forth. So
yeah, the beginning of that game was real sluggish for both teams.
Yeah.
Notre Dame's play calling was really bland. I didn't see him really open up the playbook that much, and I know they got a first-year head coach there, but he's been there. He was the defensive coordinator. Ohio State's offense really didn't impress me. Their defense did look a little better, but I don't really know. Anytime Notre Dame's played in the SEC school, they've gotten blown out. It doesn't matter if it's the first game of the season or the last game of the season; they get blown out. So Ohio State should have blew them out, and they didn't. And I know it's a double-digit win for Ohio State, but it was in their house. I expected more out of Ohio State, but I'm not going to drop them.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Bryson and this camera over here. Bryson, any thoughts on the Ohio State Notre Dame game? Like we said, we lost the Florida game, but would you expect it to be somewhat of a little bit more of a low score?
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all. I really thought Ohio State was going to put it on them. I thought Ohio State honestly was going to put up about 50 up by themselves. But yeah, like Josh said, they won by double digits, but not the double digits I was thinking. But not first season. God damn it, week one. Get the jitters out. Get going. Let the offense heat up more. But I think Ohio State is going to be very explosive this year.
Gotcha, Preston. I'm sure you caught some of that game. Do you think the Ohio State offense is overrated than what people are putting it out to be? And did you catch some of that game? What's your thoughts on that game?
No, I don't think Ohio State's offense is overrated. Like y'all said a little bit, it was the very first game of the week or for the season for them. You played Notre Dame, and I do think Notre Dame, is a pretty good defensive squad they've got going on. Their new head coach is very defensive minded. I think he's got that unit pretty well. I was very impressed with Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame performed better than I expected them to. And I don't think Ohio State performed worse than I expected to. Their number one receiver in Jogba, or however you say his name, he got hurt early on in the game, and he was very sporadic, and he didn't really play too much more after that, and he wasn't at all a factor in the game. So getting him healthy and getting him back into the reps of the actual games itself, I think that's going to change it for them. I thought it was a great game. I did get a little bit of it, but yeah, no, I thought Notre Dame performed better than I expected. And I thought Ohio State performed better than, or about as I expected, honestly. I did take Ohio State. I believe I took Ohio State in the spread, and there was a chance for them to cover it at the very end. There really was. When they got the ball at the very end of it, they could have pushed it, but they only needed like 2 first downs to ice it. So there's no need to push it. So that was one of the closer ones. They could have won earlier, very sloppy at the beginning, but I think both the teams are very good. I don't think Notre Dame was overrated, honestly. When I watched that game, I was really impressed with their quarterback. I really was. And I was really impressed with how they were able to, go and hold Ohio State to 3 points pretty much for the first full half of the game. So I'm very high on Notre Dame. I don't think they were overrated. I actually think they were slotted pretty good for that matchup. And I think Ohio State's going to be very good for the rest of the season. And I think Notre Dame's going to be really good for the rest of the season. I mean, I think it's going to be a tight game when Clemson comes to town. I think they both got a full season of good games ahead of them.
Gotcha. All right. Well, you guys gave your players of the week. I'm going to go ahead and give mine. I went earlier in the week. I believe it was Friday night. I believe it could have been Thursday night, Friday night. Spencer Sanders, Oklahoma State. Didn't play nobody, but they ended up winning. Threw for 406 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 57 rushing yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns, 6 touchdowns total after coming out after last year. And I believe he had no interceptions. Last year he struggled turning over the ball. I know they played, I believe, Central Michigan, barely pulled out the win, 58-44. Not, I know you're not playing nobody, but still you put up 6 touchdowns. I believe that deserves a player of the week. Also, I had an honorable mention. I'm going to throw out an honorable mention to mine and Bryson's boy, who played on Thursday night. UCF went to UCF. John Rise Plumlee. That's UCF might be my new favorite team now. I didn't know Plumlee went to UCF. Now I'm happy he's gotten a starting position over there. He threw for 4 passing touchdowns, had 15 carries, 86 rushing yards, and another touchdown. So 5 total touchdowns on Thursday night. And I believe I forgot who they beat. I think it was a pretty decent game. They didn't play nobody either, I don't think. I can't remember. I didn't write who they played on that game. But anyway, 5 total touchdowns coming back for a new team. I believe that's very impressive. Did you guys have any honorable mentions? Or I know you guys, Bryson had Anthony Richardson. Josh, you had, y'all two had
Stetson Bennett. But, Bryce Young had 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And,
it's Bryce Young. The only reason I'd say that is Bryce Young.
He had that in 2.5 quarters.
No, that's true. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. When I looked at Alabama,
and he rushed for 100 yards.
Yeah, I did actually see that. I did saw the Bryce Young had a lot of yards, but it's Alabama. Bryce Young, 6 touchdowns. Whatever. If it's against a big team, but I had to shout out some of the guys that I think that maybe have improved. Like I said, Spencer Sanders, he struggled with interceptions last year. Struggled turning over the ball. Coming out your first game, scoring 6 touchdowns, and winning in a close. What somewhat was a close game. I think that's impressive. All right. Unless you guys got anything else, does anybody have a rant? Go ahead, Preston. Sorry.
Well, I had an honorable mention just because it's the quarterback of my team, but I really watched it. The DJ Uyunglele. Why are you rolling your eyes?
Because you talk bad about him.
I'm sitting there watching him. I don't stop y'all.
Get him out the game. Get him out. We need to post text on there. Get him out the game. This dude does not need to be. They posted that.
I texted that before he really started.
That's my quarterback in all caps. Less than 3 minutes after he texted that.
All right, go ahead.
All I got to say, and I am a fan of him. I hope he's successful no matter where he is. I don't think he's going to end his career. I don't think he's going to end his career in orange and purple. I don't care what y'all got to say. I don't think he will. But he was able to, if the receivers had caught some of the balls, because he threw some good passes, he looked a lot more capable this one game than he did last season. Last season, he was a freaking train wreck. This past Monday, he looked halfway decent. He was able to throw the ball. He didn't have any interceptions, which was completely crazy to me. He did fumble the ball on the second drive of the game, which against a better team is going to kill us. But I want to say he was able to settle in finally for the last 20 minutes of the game, and he performed better than I expected him to. I do not think he's the quarterback or the option or the answer going forward. I don't care. I know that's why I was giving him a hard time during the game. What I'm saying is he performed better than I expected him to, which is tough to say considering the great quarterbacks Clemson has had in the past 10 years. What I'm saying is I thought he performed better than expected, and he did more than I expected. And you know what? Going forward, he's going to, have to battle really tough because Cade came in and played real good on that one drive against, lesser opponent. I understand. But like I said, he performed better than I expected. I do not think he's going to be the quarterback or the answer going forward. That's all I got to say on it.
Josh, you came back at perfect timing.
Yeah, you. I think Preston's a little worried when that ukulele comes and plays a big game here when he faces Notre Dame and some other big teams. It's going to be maybe some trouble for him, but we'll have to see if he steps up for the big game in his second year. Does anybody have a rant of the week before we advance to the upcoming games? Anybody want to rant on anything?
Yeah, I got one for you. It's not
Preston, hold on, time
related.
out. Preston, why you look so depressed right now? You look so depressed after explaining yourself.
Because they are
Did we make fun of his quarterback? Did we make fun of his quarterback that well? Anyway,
I make fun of my quarterback.
All right, Bryson, go ahead.
All right. Well, this is more golf related. I don't know if y'all keep up with golf or not. I think the tour, some championships coming up, whatever. And they were interviewing Roy McIlroy and some other golfers. He was like, "Yeah, I just don't think the live players should be here." Hey, if you're not there, worry about it. Everybody's that leaving. You probably all the competition's going away. You should win every damn tournament. I hate how they criticize the live from the PGA, giving the live players so much shit. I hope the live player wins this damn weekend. The live versus the PGA, that shit just pisses me off. Why wouldn't you want to go for more money and shit like that? I mean,
it makes me mad too, Bryson. Like, why is another grown man worried about what another grown man does?
Yeah. Because you're jealous because he's making more money than him.
Yep. And
it's not because he didn't want. Rory could have taken whatever amount of money. He could have sent him they could have sent him a blank check, and Rory could have filled it in. Rory can go play wherever he wants. I don't like live, and I don't really care about it. I don't really care about that they play in tournaments sometimes with PGA players. I don't like it just because I like the fact that the PGA is well standard. I love the history of it. I really do, and I love everything that it stands for. But I don't care about LA or live 54 or whatever they want to call it. I don't care. I don't care if they play with PGA players. It's not a big deal.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that these major championships are invitationals, so they can invite who the hell they want to.
Yeah.
PGA. You think the PGA gonna dictate to the Masters?
No, but I do think. I mean, I don't know. I think the Masters would be stupid to not invite everyone.
The Masters. The Masters will invite everybody they want. You can't do anything. The only one that
there's a few green jackets over there at the live tour.
Yeah, more.
They gonna not invite? Yeah, they're not gonna invite.
But I did hear. I thought I heard something about the Augusta National was thinking about not inviting some of the players. I don't see it. I doubt it. I think they'll get, especially now that there's more of them. I mean, there's so many live players now.
The only thing that I think is going to stop it, the only tournament that I know that they can't play in is the PGA Championship, just because it's PGA run.
Yeah.
I don't remember if they've come down on it or not. The only thing that stops live players from being able to play in some of the regular tournaments is if World Golf Rankings has decided if they're going to actually give rankings points to live events, because if they don't give points to them, then they're not going to be able to earn any points to stay in the top 500 or whatever.
You know what? He just made a good point. I have no idea how we're going to do our Masters draft next year without if they don't have world, if it's not the world, are they still going to be in the world golf ranking? I wonder how that's going to work.
I haven't paid that much attention to it.
Yeah, I think it's a world golf. I don't know. That's interesting.
I'm sure somebody's going to keep up and give us the actual ranking of who's the top 50. We can come to a consensus of a list, and we can look at it and say, okay, it says Dustin Johnson's number one. Okay, I'm fine with that.
Well, good for Dustin Johnson. He was struggling on the PGA.
He's not number one.
He's not. He's not. But
he can do all the cocaine he wants to now. Good for him.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, no, he's got to win. He won over there. He's making more money. Probably playing. I mean, he's playing less tournaments, which in his career he might want to do. So I mean, good for him. Whatever. I mean, I'm just hoping to see more golf. I hope they show as much golf on TV as they want. But all right. Let's get into the upcoming games for week 2. What is that noise in the background? Oh, that's Cameron.
Hey, one thing about that live golf though, like have y'all seen the TikToks of them guys talking trash behind them when they're teeing
Love
off?
it. Love it.
Oh yeah, it's nice.
That's freaking awesome, dude. It's more fan engaged, and
Dude, no.
they can wear
Sorry.
shorts like, and
It'll
they're
probably
making more money.
break down a little bit though.
Dude,
As
the
it goes.
celebration at the end, popping champagne balls, the whole team on the stage. That shit is so badass.
Yeah, they did look. I mean, he did look happy. Even though I was upset, I'm still upset. Taylor Gooch, I didn't get my Masters flag that I was supposed to get this year. But
flag.
happy he won. Anyway,
live flag.
Back to the oblong ball.
Yeah, and tell your dad to never interrupt the podcast ever again. Thank you very much. All right, let's get into the upcoming games. First game, Saturday, 12 p.m. We will be at Josh's, but we did pick our game that we're going to watch as the big game. But we'll talk about this game. 12 p.m., South Carolina at Arkansas. I'm sure this will be on the big TV at Josh's house instead of his favorite game. Arkansas favored by 8.5. Preston, we're going to go to you first here. Who do you got in this game?
I like Arkansas for the simple reason I think they're just a better team. South Carolina, Spencer Rattler did not show me anything that I was impressed with. He did not impress me at Oklahoma. He did not impress me in his debut at South Carolina. I don't care what anybody says that he's a great team leader on the sidelines and in the huddle. Like I said, keeping it simple and short, Arkansas minus 8.5.
Gotcha. Josh, who you got in this one? Yeah, I'm going to go with Arkansas. Like Preston just said, I wasn't really impressed with the numbers from Spencer Rattler. I do like KJ Jefferson. I do like Sam Pittman. Did y'all hear what he said after his at his press conference after the game? They asked him what kind of drink he was going to celebrate with or whatever. He was like, "I'm not promoting it, but I do like a cold beer." And I think I'll have one of those here in a few minutes. But I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, I like Arkansas in this game. 8.5, probably about right. Probably win by about 10. So low scoring.
Gotcha. Well, I'm on the same page. I think Arkansas is going to win, but I'm going to have them win by a touchdown. I'm going to take Carolina barely. I'm going to take Carolina. I know it said South Carolina's won the last 3 straight over Arkansas, if I'm not mistaken. Is that wrong? Is that correct? That's where I saw. But I think it's going to be a close game. Like I said, Carolina, who they played Georgia State last week. They got Rattler. It's an SEC battle. It's going to be intense. I think it's going to be a close game. It's always, I don't know. I think the SEC, it's going to be a tight game. Both teams, I think, improved coming into the season. I know Arkansas was pretty good last year, but I'm going to take Carolina plus 8.5. Bryson, who you going with?
Chris, like you just said, both teams are both on the uprising. I had a buddy that actually went to the game. Shout out to Graham. I really didn't watch much of the game, but he was saying during the game they were trying a lot of different things on offense, different formations, and they weren't going to the same type of playbook and different plays. They was always switching it up. And he said that was for Arkansas ain't gonna know what to do when they see them. Well, I got Arkansas in this game. Like Josh said, I see about 10 to 14 points. I think KJ Jefferson's going to have a good game here.
Yeah, that's one thing. I do like Jefferson from Arkansas. That's what kind of worries me. I do like him, but like I said, Cincinnati, they did lose a lot. And I think Carolina. I don't know. I think Carolina's going to come out and try to prove something here. Maybe they were looking ahead to Arkansas against Georgia State this week, so we'll see what happens.
They'll be looking ahead to Georgia next week.
Yeah, maybe they'll be looking ahead to Georgia. Maybe they'll be on their high horse after beating Arkansas, and then they'll come in and Georgia will beat them 41-0. All right. Next game, Saturday, 3:30. Tennessee at Pittsburgh. I can't remember the rankings here. I know Tennessee's ranked now. They're 20-something. 24, and Pittsburgh's in the teens, correct?
17.
Good job, Preston. Tennessee favored by 6.5. Tennessee's favored by 6.5. That's a lot of points. I think it's dropped some now. I'm not sure. But we're going with 6.5. Tennessee favored by 6.5. Bryson, going to you first. Who you got in this one?
Damn it. I had an ice cube in my mouth.
Okay.
Pitt and West Virginia last week was a great game. I don't see it being a great game this week. I got Tennessee here. I think Hendon Hooker's going to have a great game. I think he's going to air it out to about 400 yards this game, in my opinion. But yeah, I got Tennessee here.
Gotcha. Preston, who you got?
Yeah, I like Tennessee -6.5. I think they're overall a better team than Pittsburgh right now. Pittsburgh's defense looked a little porous at times versus West Virginia. I don't think West Virginia's offense is as good as Tennessee's. Not something I think I would have said at the beginning of the season or like a week ago, that Tennessee was going to have a pretty electric offense. As of right now, I think they're, about a 10 to 13 point better team than Pittsburgh, even on the road. So I want Tennessee -6.5.
Gotcha. Yeah, Tennessee definitely was expected to have a great offense coming into the season. Hopefully, we'll see what they can do. I'm on the fence here. I don't want to tell Josh to go first because I've already spoke, so I got to go first here. I'm gonna go Tennessee. I'm gonna go Tennessee -6.5. I almost went Pitt. I think this is going to be a good game. Tennessee's defense still not very good. I mean, their defense, they played Ball State week 1, but I still don't believe their defense is very good. But I don't like Pittsburgh either, so I'm taking Tennessee -6.5. Josh, who you got?
Yeah, this line opened up as a 5-point line, but now it's moved to 6.5. The over/under 66.5. So
Ooh.
I think it's going to be kind of high scoring. I think so too. It is at Pitt, but give me Tennessee -6.5. I'm going to go with Hendon. Yep.
We got a sweep. Tennessee, it might bite us there. Tennessee winning by 6.5 plus here. We all took Tennessee here. All right, next game. Saturday, 3:30, Appalachian State at Texas. Josh, we're coming back to you. Who are you going to go with in this game? Oh, and the line is Texas A&M -17.5. If I misspoke there, I'm sorry. I was thinking about the game. Texas A&M -17.5. They're playing at Texas A&M against App State. Who you got, Josh?
Okay. Yeah. The line has moved, but we're gonna keep it the same. The line has moved to 19. But the over/under is 54. I guess they don't think Texas A&M is gonna score that much. Because I think Appalachian State will score. Texas A&M has some playmakers. They didn't impress me last week against Sam Houston, whoever that is. I looked at their numbers. They weren't very impressive. Appalachian State coming off an emotional loss in North Carolina. I'm going to go with Appalachian State in the points.
You made a good point there. Coming off an emotional loss. That is interesting. Maybe they come in.
I don't think they're not going to beat Texas A&M.
No, I don't think so either. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and give mine. I think Texas A&M. I think Texas A&M blows them out. I'm taking A&M. I'm taking A&M. Right. Go ahead and write it down. Put this as my lock of the week. A&M -17. Give me A&M. I don't know. I'm just not a believer. App State, what they score, 40 points in the fourth quarter. North Carolina's defense sucks. I just think A&M is going to be a better team, and I think they're going to prove it this week. And then send Bryson's App State Mountaineers in the ground. So give me Texas A&M -17.5. Especially that the line's going up now. So Preston, who you got in this game?
Yeah, I like Texas A&M -17.5. I like the whole story of App State. I think they're a tough little team, but this isn't North Carolina's defense. This is Texas A&M, and they bought a lot of their players, so they didn't go cheap. They bought a lot of good ones, so I think they're going to be able to hold it up, and I think on offense they're going to be able to be a force to reckon with. So I just like you said, I think the line's moving up, so 17.5 is a great number to jump in on. So I like Texas A&M -17.5.
Yeah, and I'm not really a fan of their offense, but I think their defense pretty. I mean, they only put up 31 last week. I mean, but I do think App State's defense is not that great. So Bryson, we know who you're going with, but go ahead and tell us why. Who are you going with?
Go ahead and split that screen, son. I'm going with Josh. Give me Appalachian State Like you just said, they only put up 31 against Sam Houston. Hines King, he struggled, had 2 interceptions, didn't look too hot. App State has explosive offense. Granted, North Carolina doesn't really have the greatest defense, but still they still have an explosive
One of
offense.
the worst.
Give me App State here. I think I'm gonna bite my words a little too much, but upset of the week, App State.
So you think they're going to win outright? Bryson's going to pick them outright, but that's not going to happen.
Down there in home of the 12th man.
Maybe. I mean, one thing I will say, Josh. I mean, one thing is they did come off a very, like I said, Josh had an emotional loss, so maybe that gets them up and going here. Maybe they come out and somehow A&M's not ready. I mean, who knows? I just don't see it. All right, next game. Let's go to probably one of the most boring games of the week. It was one of the boring games last week. Iowa State at Iowa.
I mean, these dudes are getting safeties out here. We scoring 2 points.
They had a safety in the third and fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's what it was 7-3. 7-3 was the score.
Me and Bryson looked at it, and it was 5-2 one time. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know we were down college hockey. I mean, shit. I mean, my God, you can't score. I mean, why wouldn't you go with Ohio State in this game? I think we'd go ahead and clear the damn board because I mean, it's just they did not look good. Like Josh just said, you're scoring 2 points here.
So,
hey, Bubba, this ain't basketball.
Bryson, lead us off. Iowa State at Iowa. Iowa favored by 3.5. Who are you going with?
I pick Ohio State. But I guarantee
Iowa State. Iowa State. If it was Ohio State, it'd be a way different story.
I say Iowa State.
No, you didn't. Iowa. Everybody just heard you. No, you didn't.
I said Iowa.
Okay, you did not. But go ahead.
Sorry that my southern lingo's all messed up. Iowa State. I'm saying Iowa.
Now you are. Yes, go ahead.
Iowa State, but Iowa gets the safety this game.
Okay.
So you go with Iowa State and 3.5 points.
Yes, Iowa State.
Josh, who you got?
Yeah, I'm going with Iowa. I feel like they were embarrassed by their performance. I think. Hold on a second. Where's this game at?
You're good.
Where's this game at?
Iowa.
Where's it at? I'm sorry.
It's at Iowa.
It's at Iowa. I apologize. I thought
Iowa.
Yeah.
So did y'all see the thing I shared on Facebook? Iowa has like the best tradition in all of football.
I think I did. I can't remember, but you can.
They turn around and they wave. Everybody in the crowd, everybody on the field waves to the children's hospital that can look down in the field. For that reason only, I'm going to pick Iowa, giving up 3.5 points. So I'm going with the Hawkeyes.
Gotcha. And I'm going to agree with them. I'm going with Iowa. I think Iowa's going to win this in another boring game. I think it's going to be 10-3. Iowa wins over Iowa State.
Wait. I'm sorry. Josh, your pick was Iowa to cover the 3.5?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I think they're going to win 10-3. I'm going. They're going to cover. I think they're going to win like 10-3, something like that. It's going to be another low score. Anyway, Preston, who you got?
I got Iowa State. I think they've got a better offense. I don't think Iowa is that very good at all. Now, I get it. They played South Dakota State, and I actually work with a guy that's from Iowa, and he was like telling me, they're one of the best teams in the FCS. Yeah, but you played them at home, and you should have beaten them, So I don't think, it's going to be a very exciting game to watch. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game whatsoever, just like y'all alluded to earlier. But I think Iowa State can win this game, and I think they can, if not win it, they can stay within 3.5 because obviously Iowa's not lighting it up on the scoreboard because I feel like Iowa State's probably got a little bit of a better players than North or South Dakota State, and for that reason alone, I got Iowa State with Bryson.
Gotcha. All right, next game. We are going 7 p.m. Kentucky. What are they? Number 20? Number
20.
19? 20?
20.
At number 12, Florida. Florida favored by 4.5 in this game. Preston, we're going to go right back to you here. Who you got in this one?
I like Florida minus 4.5. Ford's quarterback, I mean, he really surprised. I don't think he really surprised me. I mean, I think everybody was saying that he was really good. And I think, this game being at Florida, I saw videos. I've been seeing them all over social media. Florida's fans have been amped and energized. This is new life that the new head coach, Billy Napier, has brought into them. I think that atmosphere at 7 o'clock is going to be unmatched really by only a few stadiums in the country. I like Florida a lot in this matchup. I think 4.5 is pretty good. So I'll take Florida minus 4.5.
Gotcha. Josh, what you going with?
I'm going to go with the chomp. I'm going with Florida. I think Anthony Richardson is the difference maker for Florida in this game. Kentucky, 2 running backs were injured in their first game, and I think an offensive lineman. So I think that's going to hurt them. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball like they want to. They're going to be forced to pass the ball. It's going to kind of make them one-dimensional, and Florida takes advantage of that. I got Florida winning probably by 10. So give me Florida.
Yeah. And I was going to go there too. I did see that the couple injuries as well.
Preston, you picked Florida.
Yep.
I did see the couple injuries as well. What Josh was mentioning, and they're playing at Florida, 4.5, pretty much. Unless I don't know. I just don't see Florida losing this game. I would say they're coming off a big win. Maybe they let it go, but it's against a rival. It's a rival game, so I expect them to be ready at Florida. I think they cover the 4.5, and I think they win. So give me Florida as well. Bryce, come on. Who you going with? Make it sweet.
For the first time ever in Florida history, somebody can fact check me if I'm wrong, but the Swamp done sold out back-to-back games.
That ain't the first time in history.
How's that possible?
That's not. There's no way that's
well,
first time.
I read something on there that said.
Dude, they sold out every game.
Back-to-back games.
They sold out every game.
That's what I read. I must have read something wrong or something. But it was something about back-to-back.
I mean, it don't sound right. It don't sound right to me. But maybe it's in the last few years. But
maybe their first 2 games, like usually they open up with nobody at home. So
yeah, maybe that's it. I don't know. Anyway, go ahead, Bryce.
Swamp sold out again. That crowd was rocking last week. It's going to be rocking this week. I got Florida here. Like Josh says, the injured running backs. I think Florida's main defense concern is we got to stop Will Levis. He is a great quarterback. Our defense, like I said, is iffy this year. Like I said, hopefully it gets better throughout the season. If we can stop Will, I think we win this game. I got us winning maybe 10 to 14 points. A.T. Richardson, again, is going to be the game changer for us. And so give me Florida.
And Kentucky, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, started out kind of slow this first week. I can't remember who they played, but I remember I was keeping an eye on that game. They
only won like slow. 37 to 17.
I mean, no, it was like 37-13. They ended up putting it on them, but they did start out a little slow, kind of worried me. And I want to say the quarterback may have thrown a couple turnovers. If I could be wrong. Anyway, that's a sweep of Florida. First time Bryson's picking Florida over Kentucky because he didn't do it last year. All right, let's get into my favorite game, late game. We are going to Baylor at the BYU Cougars. The Cougars are ranked what? Baylor's number 10, I believe, and BYU is
20. No, not 20.
21, I believe. 21.
God,
Baylor's number 10, I believe. Well,
Baylor's 9, BYU's 21.
Thank you, Preston. BYU is favored by 3.5 in this game. Kind of shocks me a little bit. I know BYU's got a lot of returners. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm taking one of my favorite teams. I know I said UCF a minute ago, one of my favorite teams in college football. I don't know why. I'm not really sure why they're favored 3.5 unless somebody, can tell me otherwise. I think coming into the season, I thought Baylor was going to be a little bit more down than most people. BYU played at home, 10-15 game. Give me BYU minus 3.5. Preston, who you got?
This one's tough. I mean, it really is. That 3.5 right there, it's very tempting to kind of go both ways. I think Baylor, they're a really good team. They finished off the season really well last year, winning the Big 12. I think they're going to roll into some of that momentum right now into this week. I mean, they absolutely destroyed Albany. Obviously, they should. But but I like Baylor minus 3.5 or plus 3.5 here. I think they're going to win this game outright. So I like Baylor plus 3.5.
Josh, explain. Do you know why BYU is favored in this game? And who you
I'll
got?
tell you why. I'll tell you why BYU is favored in this game because it's really weird out there in Utah. Really freaking weird. Okay, they're Mormons. Okay, the Church of Latter-day Saints, but I don't know, man. There's something weird about BYU always. Like I never really pay attention to them because they're on some weird network at 10 o'clock at night every Saturday, and I really don't pay attention to them that much. But they do win some games that they shouldn't win, but this is not going to be one of them. I'm high on Baylor. I think Baylor goes out there and overcomes the awkwardness of playing out there around all those weirdos and comes out with the win and wins outright. I'm going Baylor plus 3.
Gotcha. I mean, maybe one thing is Baylor could come in very motivated, being the underdog in this game, kind of, questionably. But I don't know. I think, like I said, BYU 21 out of 25 returners. Maybe I'm wrong. Baylor put up a big number. Bryson, who you got in this game?
I'm going with another one of my favorite teams, Baylor. David Rivera, shout out to him for changing that program around. He's doing a hell of a job out there. Like you said, they got a lot of returning, seniors. But yeah, I'm going Baylor outright here.
Gotcha. So I'm on my own. I kind of figured that. But I couldn't go against the Cougars. I couldn't do it. My favorite teams.
Who are they?
The Cougars. Anyway, they're one of my favorite teams. I think they're going to make if they win this game, they could, that was going to be one of my bold predictions that maybe they sneak into the top 10 somehow at the end of the season. But anyway.
Yeah, DJ Ukulele for Heisman.
Anyway, next game. Final game. Big game of the week. We're going to Texas, where we're headed to Josh's house. Alabama at Texas. Bama favored by 20.5. I'm not sure what it is now. Bryson, we'll go ahead and get you out the way. I don't know what you're doing over there, but we'll go ahead and get you out the way because I know who you're going with. Go ahead and tell us about it.
Yeah. Just a couple, it's a short phrase, really. Josh, you can already write this answer down. Whores down, fuck them. That's all I got to say about that.
Okay, so any score prediction in this game, Bryce?
Oh, yeah. Bama's putting fucking 52 on their ass, son, and I cannot wait.
Yes. Sit still, please, guys.
I'm telling you, every time that touchdown, Alabama scored a touchdown, I'm putting that damn elephant helmet on and running around the damn house. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
it's going to be a hell of a game.
You're definitely not. But anyway, all right. Preston, who you got?
I got Alabama. I think they're, obviously they're a far superior team. I think Texas is, they're pointing in the right direction program wise, but this is not the game for them. Even, thankfully this game's at home for them because I think if it wasn't, Alabama would put 100 on them. Yeah, I got Alabama covering. I just think it's going to be that way. I think they're way better, and I think they're going to be gelling enough on Saturday at noon. It's criminal that this game is at noon. It just is. But yeah, give me Alabama minus 20.5.
Gotcha. Josh, who'd they play? Who'd Texas play in week 1?
Louisiana Monroe.
Louisiana Monroe. What was the score of that game?
52-10.
52-10. I know it's nobody. Anyway, playing at Texas, I almost did it. I almost said, hey, let me take them. I know Alabama. I don't think they're going to win, but I almost said, 20.5. Let me get Texas, but I can't do it. I'm going to take Alabama to cover something around 49-17. They could definitely put it on them and make it way worse. But I don't know. I want to see what Alabama's going to do. I want to see what they're about this week because I didn't watch them. I didn't really watch the Utah State game this week, even though they won 55-0. Josh, go ahead and tell us about it. Go. Who you got?
Yeah, well. I don't like this game so early, but I've never seen Alabama play down to an opponent because of an early game like I have seen some teams do. Texas does have a few former Alabama players on their team. One of them is still suspended, the tight end Billingsley. Ajayi Hall has been cleared to come back to the team. they were both in trouble. But I don't know. I don't know if he's going to see the field much. But yeah, I have Alabama winning this game, probably putting up close to 50 points. I don't think Texas's defense is going to be able to contain Bryce Young and company. So, yep, give me Alabama,
Gotcha.
20.5.
Gotcha.
And
Sweet.
I want to
couple
say
sweeps
something
this
real
week.
quick. I
Go
want to
ahead.
just throw an odd thing out there. It has nothing to do with none of the games we talked about. There is a team playing Minnesota who is called the Western Illinois Leathernecks. What the hell is a leatherneck?
I've never heard of that one. I
Western
knew there was.
Illinois.
I didn't know they were the
Christ.
Leathernecks.
I want to get one of
Almighty.
those shirts, dude. I got to get me a Western Illinois leatherneck shirt.
Are they favored? Probably not. But anyway,
No, there ain't even no spread or over under in this game.
Shit.
who are they playing?
Minnesota.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, Minnesota's pretty good.
That's one of those.
Yeah,
but when you fucking
I'm on
talking
this
to me,
betting website or whatever that shows me
Yeah.
the lines and everything of all the teams,
Gotcha.
and there's no line.
Yeah, I just look at the line. I go by the lines on DK Sportsbook. If you're wondering, early in the week, I just scroll through them. Even though it's not legal here, can't use it, can't bet on it. I just kind of scroll through them and look at it.
Yeah.
But any other games? Preston, who's Clemson got this week?
Furman.
Okay.
Do they
Ooh.
play Furman like every other year?
It seems that way. I mean, they don't play. It's not every year, but like you said, I think it's maybe every other year. It's either they kind of switch Furman with like Georgia Southern and some other schools.
Georgia's got
tell you,
Sanford. Go ahead, Bryce.
Yeah.
But you must have the worst connection of all time tonight. But go ahead.
yeah,
You're
my
good,
connection.
go.
I know what's going on tonight. Like me and Josh were talking before the stream. Wake Forest and Vanderbilt. I think that's going to be a good game. Josh just informed me that I can't think of his name right now, but the Wake Forest quarterback gets cleared to play. Yep, it's coming back to play. I think that's going to be a very good game. I'm really liking Malik Davis over there at Vanderbilt. I think, they're coming off 2-0. The confidence got to be sky high. Confidence leads to victories. So I'm going to go with Vanderbilt in that game, just saying.
I think Wake Forest is only favored by like 8 points or something, if I'm not mistaken.
13 and a half, if I'm not mistaken.
It'd be less than that if Hartman wasn't playing.
Yeah. Gotcha. Josh, any other games you're looking forward to?
Nope, that one right there that Bryson was talking about, Wake Forest and Vanderbilt.
Gotcha. Like I said, Georgia plays Stanford. Probably, honestly, I might catch a little bit of it, but if somehow they lose to Stanford, we got bigger problems.
Oh, we
got a question.
Kansas State and Mississippi State.
Oh, yeah, I did hear about that. Yeah, I think that's a close game. That should be a close game. I did see that one. I don't know if how good Kansas State is anymore. I know they were pretty good.
We got Houston and Texas Tech with Texas Tech favored by 3.
Yeah, Houston's ranked 25. I know. Houston wasn't that impressive last week, I don't think, though. I think they almost lost, if I'm not mistaken. I think they won like 38-35 against some no-name team. It was like 3 overtimes. I think that was Houston, if I'm not mistaken.
I got a question. If Vandy beats Wake Forest, does Vandy get a crack at the top 25?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they'll be in the 20s if they could be soon if they do.
Yeah, I believe.
Especially if they beat them pretty handily. I don't think they'll beat them pretty handily. I don't think they'll win, but.
Yeah, I didn't know what y'all's opinion on that. If they squeak by, they like a 3-point, field goal game, if they get in or not. Gotcha.
All right, let's get into the top 4. Our top 4. I'll go ahead and I'll start with mine. I didn't disagree with the one on the top on the AP poll. I went Alabama number 1, Georgia obviously going to hop Ohio State. I believe they had Ohio State at 2 last time, if I'm not mistaken. So Georgia definitely number 2 now. I mean, Georgia was very impressive last week. Ohio State, I'm keeping them at number 3. I think Notre Dame was pretty good. I think Notre Dame's pretty good. So can't drop them really. And Michigan, number 4. That's what I'm going with. I'm going with what's off the. I don't like anybody else in that number 4 spot really, and Clemson wasn't that impressive. So I'm going. That's who I had it for last time, so I'm going.
I guess it's not impressive to win by 31. I guess okay.
Against Georgia Tech, no, it's not. And you look like shit the first
Okay.
half. No, I'm not. No, it's not.
Whatever.
Michigan. I'm putting Michigan in that 4 spot. Josh, go ahead and tell us why Clemson's not your number 4. Go ahead and tell us who you got in your top 4.
Clemson is in my top 4, man.
Okay.
I have Clemson at 4. They did struggle a little bit with Georgia Tech, but they were playing in Atlanta. Georgia Tech.
That's true.
Georgia Tech is improving. And Clemson was adjusting to not having Brent Venables on the sideline. And I thought they adjusted well in the second half, and they kind of pulled away. So I can't really take that spot away from them, but I can drop Ohio State from 2 to 3 because of what SEC schools do to Notre Dame when they play them. And then we're going to go with my Alabama Crimson Tide at number 2.
Ooh, all right, yeah. I almost did it. I couldn't do it. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna put Georgia at number 1. Georgia was really good. Oregon was really bad. I think it's a little bit of both. But Georgia's the reigning champs. If Georgia would have won by just 2 touchdowns or even 3 touchdowns, but Georgia kept them from scoring. They kept them from scoring a touchdown. The defense looked promising for Georgia, so I'm going to have them at number 1. So 1 Georgia, 2 Bama, 3 Ohio State, 4 Clemson.
Gotcha. I almost did it too. I almost put Georgia at 1. I just figured I'd keep Alabama there. Just until I can't do it yet. I can't do it. Preston, go ahead and give it to us.
I got 1 at Georgia, or I got Georgia at 1. I just like Josh said. I mean, the reigning champs. They showed no sign or no weakness versus Oregon. They scored at ease. They stopped Oregon. It's really going to take something to show me that they're not number 1 right now. At 1B, I've got Alabama. I mean, they've proved they're a great team year in and year out. I have a hard time thinking if the AP poll said Alabama and Georgia are tied at number 1, I mean, I'm like, okay, whatever. I mean, they both deserve it. I mean, they're both elite teams. I think they're the 2 best teams in college football right now. At 3, I got Ohio State. And 4, I got Clemson. But I just think, like Josh said, I think that defense is really good. I think Clemson's defense is going to be one of the best units in college football this year. Secondary kind of worries me a little bit, but they performed really well. DJ, I think, did better than expected. Like I said earlier, he performed better than expected. I got a lot of criticism for him. I don't think he's a quarterback going forward, and I think eventually he's going to transfer out and play for somebody else. He's not going to finish his career for us or for Clemson. Not because I don't think he's immensely talented. I just don't think he fits the system. He's a pro-style quarterback. And Kate Klubnik, I think, when he takes over, I think this team's going to really kind of get to that next step and kind of go forward. But they got 2 more weeks to figure out their quarterback situation before they start playing NC State and Notre Dame and teams like that. So, I mean, I got Clemson at 4. So I got Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, and Clemson. And honestly, I don't really have an argument to say that Texas A&M couldn't be 4 or Michigan. So any of those teams, really, it's 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I almost put Clemson number 4. It was kind of up for grabs, but Clemson's got to prove it to me a little bit. Last season they struggled. This season they didn't look too hot early coming in. Their defensive line's really good, but they made up for it in the second half. We'll see. Maybe they prove us wrong and end up there. I had them going to the playoff. At the end of the year, I believe. So we'll see. Bryson, who you got in your top 4?
Number 4, I have Michigan. Number 3, I have Ohio State. Number 2, I have Alabama. And number 1, I have Georgia. Yeah.
I probably should have put Georgia at 1, but good call. Good call. I just couldn't do it. I left Alabama at 1, but anyway. So we got our top 4s in. Did we give a lock of the week? Did everyone give a lock of the week? I went A&M. I went A&M over. We'll go ahead and do that real quick before we head out. I went A&M over Appalachian State for my lock of the week. I'm already 0-1, so I don't need to go 0-2 in my lock of the week because I'll be very far behind. Josh, do you have a lock of the week for you?
Yeah, let me give me Florida lock of the week -4.5.
Bryson, any lock of the week for you?
Yes, I'll take Mountaineers.
Taking Appalachian State. Okay.
Yes, sir.
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. Preston, lock of the week for you.
Iowa State plus 3.5. I think they're going to win this game outright.
Gotcha. Some different ones. We all got different ones there. I'm happy with that. All right. All right. I think that's it. So looking forward to the games. Looking forward to seeing Josh this Saturday, and looking forward to NFL football. I'm definitely looking forward to that. You guys know how much of an NFL fan I am. We got the Saints and the Falcons playing. But yeah, check out our NFL show. We just put that out, I think, yesterday. So we did our breakdown of week 1. I'm going to put out some stuff here shortly on TikTok and stuff. I'm going to do it myself as far as DraftKings plays and stuff like that. And then we may be live Sunday for that. Me and my brother and possibly Josh. We'll see how that's going to work for week 1. Yeah, but make sure you like, subscribe on YouTube, follow Apple Podcasts, whatever you do there. Download the podcast on Spotify, follow there. Appreciate everybody watching. Peace.
Roll motherfucking tide.